From the historic East Cobb Baseball Complex in Metro Atlanta, it's the 2014 Travel Ball National Championship powered by Nations Baseball and TravelBallSelect.com. This is the most competitive youth baseball in America. And hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on TravelBallSelect.com. And here with the play-by-play story for the rest of today. Just one more ball game, and then 4 tomorrow here on Field 4. I'm Chris Mooningham. It's California versus Georgia. And our final elimination ball game of this Saturday on Field 4. And the first pitch is lined in a center field for a base hit. A solid single to start things for Nate Smith, a speedy right-handed hitter. It's the Homeplate Chilidogs out of Peachtree City, Georgia. That's in the Metro Atlanta area for those of you, the uninitiated. Taking on the Knights of Lamorinda, California, just north of, in the San Francisco Bay Area. So Team California versus Team Georgia. The Homeplate Chilidogs, the visiting team at the plate. And after the single by the Homeplate center fielder Smith, now Legend Doggett. What a name. This guy on the all-name team by the end of the week. Legend Doggett. Legend known for his great defensive play as a middle infielder. Let's take a look at the path for both of these squads getting to this elimination ball game. This, of course, a 16-team double elimination tournament. This is our 4th game of the day on TravelBallSelect.com. Throw down to second with Smith trying to steal, and they got him! So Smith caught stealing, and the base runner erased. One man gone with Doggett at the plate now. The Chilidogs, they're led by Nate Kearns, their coaches, Brian Jones, Tommy Lawson, Mike McGinnis. They beat RBI Tennessee 12-6 in pool play, then scored 8 runs in the 6th inning to pull away from Stars and Stripes. And then fell to this very same Lamorinda team 5-0 in pool play as well. Only one of 3 teams that went 3-0 in the Atlanta SNIT earlier in the season. High pop called for at short, and the catch is made. So 6 unassisted, and that'll get us to Houston Lawson, the third baseman. Lawson, a power hitter. Solid behind the dish. Looks like a catcher, built like a catcher. Houston was part of a great combination with he and Burke Berry. Burke, who's on deck, by the way. He and Burke Berry against the Vipers earlier in the tournament combined for 5 hits and 4 RBIs. Actually, check that. That was against Stars and Strikes, where the 2 men in the 3 and 4 hole collected 5 hits and 4 runs batted in. This team had an impressive showing at the Elite 8 with wins over the Avalanche, the Wolverines, DKSA. Lost to Spartan Pro in the finals of that tournament. They have a very similar resume to a lot of teams you see in this tournament. Traveling across the country, playing the best teams around the country, and, of course, playing in many of the regional tournaments. This home plate team will go anywhere in the country, though. They came into the bracket play. Took on the Wisconsin team that we saw eliminated here just a little bit ago. Sent them into the loser's bracket with a 7-1 win. Then took on Corey Lytle out of California and lost in their second game. Lost that ball game 6-3. That sent them down here into the loser's bracket. where they took on the East Cobb Longhorns and beat them, setting up this matchup with the Knights. Throw to first, and they got him. So 1, 2, 3 go the Homeplate Chilidogs out of Peachtree City, Georgia, in the metro Atlanta area. For those of you, the uninitiated, we'll take our first break of the afternoon, bottom half of the first, coming up in the 2014 Travel Ball National Championship.
Great hitters aren't born, they're made. Swing Away makes them.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. If you want to be a better hitter, all you have to do is swing away.
Now, all baseball players and softball players can train like the pros. Hit anywhere, anytime, inside or out. Players of all ages and skill levels can get serious and immediate results with the Swing Away.
Swing Away will make you a better hitter, period.
You're just a swing away from becoming a great hitter at swingaway.com.
Here's a game I invite you to play during the next half inning. Rate each player from 0 to 10 how confident he looks. How confident you think each guy is. Rate him 0 to 10, and then notice what you're basing your assessment on. If you want extra credit, do the same for yourself. How are you sitting right now? How are you moving? How are you breathing? How confident 0 to 10 are you right now in whatever it is that you might be working on in your life? I'm Dr. Tom Hansen, founder of the Playbook Academy, and for the last 30 years, I've been studying confidence in baseball and business, all aspects of life, and what makes people take action boldly and confidently, and what has people wilt away under the pressure. If you want to take the first step, where I give away my #1 secret, the Hall of Famer's secret, this is what I learned studying Hank Aaron, Rod Cruz, Stan Musial, Carly Yastrzemski, interviewing them. This is the #1 secret. Go to travelballsecrets.com and do the exercise that's there and feel yourself take that boost to the next level. It's your first step. Go to travelballsecrets.com.
Bottom half of the first inning. Thanks for joining us here from Metro Atlanta in the historic East Cobb Baseball Complex. At least for the next 2 years, the capital of the Travel Ball National Championships. And ball one to start things. Pete Halpin to lead things off for the Knights of Northern California. And now a 2-0 count. Michael McGinnis on the mound for the Chilidogs, the Homeplate Chilidogs, Team Georgia. McGinnis kicks and fires. And a fastball for strike #1. Lamorinda out of California. Now McGinnis back in the at-bat at 2-2. Lamorinda in pool play took out RBI of Tennessee 8-3, then fell to Wisconsin. Scored 5 runs in the first inning against Stars and Stripes and came away with a 9-2 victory, and then beat this very same home plate team 5-0. Something that you really see once you get late into these tournaments, as we are now. Teams finally starting to repeat their opponents. The Knights, without question, one of the top teams in the country. 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5, depending on who you talk to as far as their national ranking. This one lined down the right field line and headed into the corner, but foul. Play a lot of tournaments playing up into the 12U. They played a 12U Summer Splash tournament not too long ago in the NorCal area, where they went 4-0, outscoring their opponents 32-8. Now, again, that's playing up with the 12U boys. Mentioned their pool play, where they were 4-0, or 3-1, pardon me, 3-1. one of the better records. Very few teams were undefeated as Halpin draws a walk to start the batting for the home team today. Let's see. Let me find them here on the bracket. Lamorinda played Spartans Pro out of Florida and fell 8-3. Lost their initial ball game in bracket play. So they fell down into the losers bracket, and wouldn't you know it, two of the better teams in the country had to play each other in an elimination game here at 10 a.m. right here on this field. The Dodgers team out of Tennessee and Dillon and Lamorinda played each other. Lamorinda came away with a victory, knocking the Dodgers out of the tournament. Bracket play continued for them as they took on a team out of Charlotte, North Carolina, a game that you could have seen here on Travel Ball Select at about 2 p.m. They beat the Canes, the SBA Canes, North Carolina, advancing to this ball game. At the end of play tonight, we'll be down to 6 teams. 4 in the losers bracket and 2 in the winners bracket. Squaring to bunt, trying to move the runner along with the runner stealing. A little bit of a sacrifice and run there with Diaz at the plate. And the steal for Halpin. So a walk and a stolen base for Halpin. And a 3-0 count on Diaz. Davis has been good today. Very productive in the losers bracket. And he's drawn himself a walk. So consecutive walks to start the ball game for the Knights of Northern California. And A.J. Ortiz comes to the plate. Nathan Kearns, the head coach, headed out to, well, take the ball away from his starter. Immediately taking the ball out of the right hand of Michael McGinnis. Is Mike going to head out of the dugout? And he's calling upon Nathan Kearns. So Nate Kearns going to take the mound now. Nate, who at the plate is one of the more improved, if not the most improved hitter on his team from last year. Bit of a utility player. Scouting report says he has good speed, and he'll play 4 positions. Or, well, I got him listed as an outfielder as well, so there's 3 for you. So 6 positions, I suppose. Nate in to pitch very early. Still nobody out in this bottom half of the first inning. Yeah, again, by the end of play today, we'll be down to 6 teams. Up in the winners bracket, Spartans Pro, a team out of Florida, and the Dallas Tigers, that's Dallas, Texas. So Florida and Texas will be playing each other right here on TravelBallSelect.com at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning in the winners bracket championship game. The winner of that one advances to the national championship game. But first things first, the winner of this one will take on the Corey Lido Club, also out of Northern California, in one of the losers bracket semifinal ball games. That'll be Sunday, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Also at Sunday, tomorrow at 8 a.m., the Madison Marlins will take on either Indiana Bulls Black or Citius of Texas. So Texas and Indiana will play each other. The winner advances to one of the semifinals in the losers bracket. So again, we'll be down to 6 teams at the end of play tonight, about 2 hours or so. A little bit less, I suppose. Again, you'll get to see the 4 biggest ball games of the day tomorrow right here on TravelBallSelect.com. 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and 2 p.m. In the dirt. Snap throw down to second. Now they're going to fire to third, and they've got the runner in a pickle. Good job. Good job of chasing the runner, gunning down the lead man, and Halpin going to be retired. The very dangerous hitter at the plate in Ortiz. First out, retired. AJ was 1 for 3 in game 1 today, or in their game versus North Carolina that we broadcast here on TravelBallSelect.com. 2 ground outs and an RBI single. Runner breaking. Breaking ball sweeps outside. Throw down to second is wide and into center field. And wisely Davis, will stay at second. So again, one more time, just want to wrap this point up to preview the day tomorrow. We'll have one of the semifinal loser bracket ball games tomorrow as the Corey Lytle team from Northern California will take on one of these 2 teams. Then at 10 a.m., the Winners Bracket Championship game will be live here on TravelBallSelect.com as Ortiz draws the walk. At 12 p.m., it's the Losers Bracket Championship game here on TravelBallSelect.com. And then finally, the National Championship game at 2 p.m. How about 3 walks to start the bottom half of the first? Big Howard deep down the right field line and hooking out of play. This is David Howard. Howard, who was the tournament MVP of the spring SNIT. A very impressive tournament where they beat a host of well-known programs. This one he skies into center field and pretty deep. It's called by Smith. He's got it for the second out of the inning. Three walks and a fly out with a caught stealing as well. Or a pickoff to be more precise. And Pat Keegren coming to the plate. In the dirt. Good stop by the backstop. Holy smokes, what a good stop by Che Yeager. Boy, Che did a great job of shifting his knees to the right, backhanding that ball in the dirt. That's one of the better defensive efforts by a catcher in stopping what I call a loose pitch that we've seen today. Again in the dirt. Chilidogs of Peachtree City really struggling with their control early. Georgia versus California in another elimination ball game. And a strike finally. 3-1. Kearns back into the at-bat at 3-1. Right-hander kicks and fires. Swing and a miss with an off-speed delivery. Well, this would be quite an accomplishment for the Georgia boys to get out of this jam with no runs crossing. Ground ball, left field, base hit. Runner coming to the plate. Diaz will score. Misplayed in left, and a missed throw by the shortstop after the running runner was stopping at third. Holy smokes, Ortiz ran through the stop sign, then caught it, went back to third, and as he was on his way back to third, that's when his third base coach, Adrian Diaz, actually started waving him back to the plate because the shortstop received the relay throw, and in his effort to fire it to the plate, or perhaps to catch the man taking the wide turn at first, had a bad grip on the ball, threw it into the turf, or into the dirt. Oh, what a wild play that was. RBI single for Keegren. Lined at third and caught. And the inning comes to a close. Good thing that Houston Lawson was paying attention down there at third. 2 runs come across with 2 men out in the inning. And we'll see if those end up being very important runs. Well, they're all important, but how important? We'll see how the evening unfolds on TravelBallSelect.com.
This is Nations Baseball.
Ready, ice. To the plate, driven. High, deep, gone. Gets over the fence by about a foot.
Nations Baseball features the most complete roster and team classification systems in the country, allowing for true class play, matching teams of equal skill levels better than any other organization on the planet. Teams compete in Metro, Select, Elite, and Premier classes in leagues and tournaments around the nation for a chance to attend World Series and National Championship events in the most attractive locations in the country.
That's it. 3 in a row to first base, and that will end it.
Two big runs come across in the bottom half of the first inning for the boys out of Cali, the Knights of Lamorinda. Depending on who you ask, a top 5 team in the country coming into this tournament. They've had to do all their work out of the losers bracket after a 3-1 pool play performance. Lost the first game of the bracketed play, caught by the pitcher, Newman. And they've been doing fine work since getting down into the losers bracket. Now looking for their 3rd win of the day today. Is that right? 3 wins? Let me go to the trusty bracket. That's why as a broadcaster you keep your brackets right handy. Yes, 2 wins. 2 wins so far today. So Burt Berry pops up to the pitcher. That's an absolutely huge out for the Knights of California. Shot into the gap in right center field. Coming over, the center fielder can't get there. Rounding first and headed into second is Ballard. Bryce sliding head first and in safely with a 1-out double. Bryce Ballard, a power right-hander who plays 3 positions. He catches, plays third and first. What you'd expect, I suppose. And that'll get us to Che Yeager. Yeager, who's actually catching today, with a runner in scoring position now. Newman looks in, gets a sign that he likes, and brings home the 1-0. From the stretch. Oh, a big breaking ball that by the time it was caught by Keegren was nearly on his shoe tops, the catcher I mean. But when it crossed the plate, it was a strike at the knees. Yeager took it, and the count's even at 1. We've seen nearly every pitcher today through, well, let's see, 20 innings, has kind of struggled with off-speed deliveries out of the stretch. Ground ball down to second. 2 men gone. Of course, you'd expect that. That's a well-known fact of youth baseball. A lot of youth pitchers, even at the greatest talent level, which is what travel ball is. This is the greatest talent of, greatest collection, the most competitive youth baseball in America, hands down. But even these young men sometimes will struggle with off-speed deliveries out of the stretch. And now Kearns. Nate, the new moundsman, right-hander, waits the delivery from a right-hander on the mound. And Newman's first is high. Breaking ball stays high, 2-0. Travel Ball National Championship is powered by Nations Baseball and TravelBallSelect.com. Travel baseball has become prevalent around the country for about the last 15 years or so, and until now, there have been no real national championship for these teams to play for, but Nations Baseball has been the fastest growing travel ball sanctioning body in the United States over the last 6 years, and Travel Ball Select has been the travel ball encyclopedia for the last decade. Now, these two organizations got together to make sure that travel ball now has a national champion that can truly say they are the best. This 2014 Travel Ball National Championship is the result. The 3-0 from Newman, high. Another off-speed pitch. Runners at the corners with 2 men out. A pop-up, a double, a ground out, and a walk in the inning. Two hits for the Georgia boys. Though they've not been able to push anything across, quite obviously. McGinnis now. First one to Mike. Curveball that stayed high. Fouled away. Another curveball. This one certainly more of the zone. And McGinnis was ready for it. Chilidogs, a top 20 team, the Peachtree City boys. Peachtree City, again, a team or a city just south of the city of Atlanta. Close play, and they'll say that Howard beat him to the bag. Boy, oh boy, was that ever close. Home plate threatens in the second inning. Still 2-0, Lamorinda on TravelBallSelect.com.
Here's a game I invite you to play during the next half inning. Rate each player from 0 to 10 how confident he looks. How confident you think each guy is. Rate him 0 to 10, and then notice what you're basing your assessment on. If you want extra credit, do the same for yourself. How are you sitting right now? How are you moving? How are you breathing? How confident 0 to 10 are you right now in whatever it is that you might be working on in your life? I'm Dr. Tom Hansen, founder of the Play Big Academy, and for the last 30 years, I've been studying confidence in baseball and business, all aspects of life, and what makes people take action boldly and confidently, and what has people wilt away under the pressure. If you want to take the first step, I give away my #1 secret, the Hall of Famer's secret. This is what I learned studying Hank Aaron, Rod Crew, Stan Musial, Carly Shrimpsky, interviewing them. This is the #1 secret. Go to TravelBallSecrets.com and do the exercise that's there and feel yourself take that boost to the next level. It's your first step. Go to TravelBallSecrets.com.
Want to remind you folks that right here on TravelBallSelect.com you can see the latest news, national rankings, and players to watch in travel baseball nationwide. You can also go to nationsbaseball.com to enter a travel ball event in your area. Thanks for joining us for the 2014 Travel Ball National Championship. I'm Chris Mooneyham here with a play-by-play story. The East Cobb Baseball Complex is the mecca of travel ball this year. The National Championship, which again, by the end of play today, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be down to 6 teams represented by some of the premier states in the country for travel ball. Zach White leads off the bottom half of the second inning, followed by Carson Newman and Sam Heyman. Kearns kicks and fires, one that sweeps outside for ball 2. Right here, you got a team representing California taking on a team from the state of Georgia. Need I say more? You don't have to be a travel ball select expert to know that that's going to be 2 of the top states for really any athletics across the country. Misplayed ball at short, and White will reach to start the inning. I hate to do it. I'll never pick on the kids, but I've got to say that'll be an E6. Don't believe you can credit White with an infield single on that one. Now you just look at it over in the winners bracket as well. You'll have Florida taking on Texas tomorrow. The winner of this one, either California or Georgia, will take on a California team tomorrow, the Corey Lytle team. And then in the other, right now you got another team from Texas taking on a team from Indiana, and whichever team advances will take on another fine team in the Madison Marlins. So some of the premier states, not just for, well, really not just for travel ball select, travel ball, but sports in general from across our country. It's amazing over the last 15 years how here in the state of Georgia, I'm a native Georgian, and how here in the state of Georgia we've climbed the ladder for being one of the great producers of high school and college talent as Newman reaches on the walk. Texas, Florida, California, Georgia. Some of the great producers of youth talent across our country. Kearns coming out to have a conversation with the guys on the mound. As White's reached on an error, Newman reaches on a walk. Heyman coming to the plate. The Knights right fielder, and that'll get us back to the top of the order. And you know that Coach Kearns knows that once you get back to the top of the order, you're talking about 3 of the best hitters in America at the 11-year-old classification in Halpin, Diaz, and Ortiz. Not to mention Howard, their cleanup man, one of the great power 11-year-olds in the country. Boy, in a 1-0 count. This is a very dangerous moment in the ball game already, just in the second inning, but still a very dangerous moment here for the Georgia team. Curveball that falls in for a strike. Beautiful. Beautifully placed. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Infield base hit. Bunt single for Heyman. And that is just smart either coaching or decision-making by the young man in the 9-hole. So an error, a walk, and an infield single, and the bases are loaded for Pete Halpin. Halpin walked in his first at-bat in this ball game. He was one of the offensive stars. He's been one of the offensive stars of the day in general of the 4 games that we've called here on TravelBallSelect.com. In the game we saw him earlier against the Charlotte, North Carolina team, he drove in 4 runs, and he hits this one high and deep into center. Moving back is Smith, now coming in on the ball, makes the call, the catch. Runner tags at third and then decides to go back. Hindsight being 20/20, I wonder They may wish they had sent him. So that'll just go as a plain old F8 by Halpin. And here's Diaz. But you know Coach Diaz is over at third, the head coach for Lamorinda. And the California man knows that he didn't need to force the issue there with two really fine hitters coming up with one man out. This is Boy Davis, who walked in the first. Outside corner with a fastball, and now it's 0-2. Boy, I'm telling you what. Kearns struggles this entire inning. Now he gets a fly ball and no run to score, and he gets ahead 0-2. Can he finish it? Fly to right, headed towards the line. They had him shaded the other way, and it gets past the right fielder and heads to the wall. One run is scored. A second runner coming into the plate, and he will score. Third runner being waved as well. Diaz is going to stand at third with a 3 RBI triple. For the second time today, the California squad has a man come through with a triple with the bases loaded. How about that? I mentioned it a moment ago, just a batter ago, as a matter of fact, as Pete Halpin made the last out. Pete had an 3 RBI triple in the second inning in their victory over North Carolina. Now it's Diaz. How about that? So an error, a walk, an infield single, a fly out, and with one man gone, it's a 3 RBI triple. Here's Ortiz. AJ was part of 3 consecutive walks to start the ball game for the Knights. It was 1 for 3 against North Carolina, with an RBI single and 2 ground outs to short. And he smokes this one into center field. Falling base hit and getting past the center fielder Smith. Big man can run. Ortiz has got himself an RBI double. Now 5-0 quickly. Boy, it looked like Kearns was going to have a chance to get out of it. Runner's breaking down to third, and he will make it easily with the breaking ball down in the dirt. Ortiz advances. Now Howard needs just a fly ball. Well, they got him played straight away and right. They really don't believe that he'll be able to turn on Kearns and rip him down the right field line. Well, at least not in the air, because they do have their first baseman hugging the line. Swing and a miss. Gets past him. Ortiz coming to the plate. Will there be a play? No, sir. AJ sliding in head first and safe. 6-0 California. Now remember, if you're just tuning in out there, this is an elimination ball game. Somebody going home at the end of this one. And the boys from Georgia really going to have their work cut out for them to stay in this tournament. Barely got a piece of it. Well, many people said it would be darn near impossible for most teams to come through this loser's bracket and get to the championship. Swing and a miss. Howard goes down. Obviously, somebody will come through it and get to the championship game. have to expend a lot of energy and a lot of innings from their pitchers. But my point being, the powers that be, the knowledgeable folks that get together and you take a look at the losers bracket before it starts to unfold and you pick 3 teams that you think can really win the tournament coming out of the losers bracket, and there is no question that Lamorinda, the boys from California, were on that short list. Here's Pat Keegren. Pat drove in the first run of this elimination ball game with an RBI single in the first. That first inning could have been a whole lot better for the Knights, a whole lot worse for the Chilidogs. Shot into center field. That a hard smash that'll fall in front of the center fielder for a base hit. Boy, a lot of balls hit right back up the middle. California really squaring the ball up, or the bat up if you prefer. Now Carl Vesey Light to the plate. Carl lined out to third, his first time up in that said first inning, where they left the bases loaded. First inning, they had 3 walks and a single. Got 2 runs out of it. Runner breaks. Throw down to second. Heads into center field, but the runner will not advance. Everyone's come to the plate now in the home half of the second. They've not batted around, but they're close. Zach White stands on deck. He led off the inning by reaching on an error, swing and a miss at a breaking ball off the outside corner. Count at 1-1. Left center. That ball's going to fall in for a base hit. Rounding third and coming to the plate and scoring. Yes, a courtesy runner, pardon me. I missed the courtesy runner a moment ago. It was D. Orta. Orta, who started in most of this tournament, getting the day off in the nightcap. And D, the courtesy runner for Keegren, comes in to score. An RBI single for Carl Vesey Light. And now, in fact, as Zach White comes back up to the plate, the boys from Northern California have batted around. 8-0. Outside corner. White started with a strike. Sure, some of you watching out there may be wondering about run rules. Amy Walker. Amy always asks me every time we do something like this, any kind of youth sports, what's the run rule? Just so she knows, not because she's trying to get out of here. 15 after 3, 10 after 4, 8 after 5. Complete innings. So, line in the left field, falling base hit. Holding at second is Vesey Light. So the second time in the inning that White has reached. And now Newsom. Yep, that will in fact be the end of the day for Kearns. We'll have another pitching change. Already the third pitcher of the ball game for the Georgia team. We're going to have multiple defensive changes here as well. So Matt Lovett on to pitch. Matt in the score on the roster. They've got him as Jet on my my lineup sheet here. Don't know if he goes by Matthew, as it is officially on the roster, Jet, but figured I'll throw them both out there. His coach put Jet, so that's good enough for me. Jet really juiced up with his warm-up pitches. 8-0 here in the bottom half of the second inning. Again, the run rules dictate that we'll play at least 3 in this ball game, but well, they got a little ways to go before they can get to 15 after 3, so we'll see how it all unfolds. I want to remind you folks, one of the biggest days of the travel ball calendar coming up, August 22nd. Always wise to plan ahead. On August 22nd, plans will be made for the Travel Ball National Championship and the qualifiers. Qualifying events will return to Miami, Louisville, Atlanta, Houston, Charlotte, Detroit, Birmingham, Chicago, Las Vegas, and 3 new locations. All dates will be announced on August 22nd on travelball.com. You can email info@travelballselect.com to register for an advance notice. Again, those cities that have already been announced for qualifying events, the 12 cities, well, we know 9 of them: Miami, Louisville, Atlanta, Houston, Charlotte, Detroit, Birmingham, Chicago, and Las Vegas. And then again on the 22nd, the 3 new locations will be announced. A couple different ways that you can reach this Travel Ball National Championship. Team can qualify by being ranked according to TBS, and then receive one of the 12 automatic invitations, or a team can earn a berth by winning one of the 12 Travel Ball qualifying events. The 2015 Travel Ball National Championship will return to the prestigious East Cobb Baseball Complex in Atlanta for 6 of the classifications, the 9U and 11U. Then on another weekend, it'll be the 10U and the 12U. And then the 13U 60-90 split, that's 60 feet 6 inches on the mound and 90 feet between the base pads, and 14U. And then the 8U and 13U 54-80 Travel Ball National Championship will return to the Baseball USA Complex in Texas. So a lot of information there that I gave you, I know, and if you lost any of it in translation, just stay here at travelballselect.com, and you can find all of the information here on the site. It's now the bases loaded for Sam Heyman. Boy, oh boy. Twelfth batter in the inning. Coach Kern's going to go out and have a conversation with his right-hander on the mound. Ask Lovett if he's okay, and Jet said something to him, and he's shaking his right hand as we speak. Home plate umpire giving him time to talk. He's slowly walking out there. That's a good official. 8-0, bottom half of the second inning. Boy, if your tournament's going to end, it's one of those age-old debates. If your tournament's going to end, your season's going to end, how do you want it to end? Would you rather lose in the last at-bat, get your heart broken, go out with a fight? Or would you rather just get shellacked, ground ball down to short, take the easy out at first, or not so easy, but the out nonetheless? And it comes to a close. Heyman, with his second at-bat of the inning, is retired 6-3. But not before 6 runs cross the plate in the bottom half of the second inning. And the boys from California take complete control of the ball game. Now in front 8-0 over Georgia on TravelBallSelect.com.
This is Nations Baseball.
Matty Ice to the plate, driven, high, deep, gone. Gets over the fence by about a foot.
Nations Baseball features the most complete roster and team classification systems in the country, allowing for true class play, matching teams of equal skill levels better than any other organization on the planet. Teams compete in Metro, Select, Elite, and Premier classes in leagues and tournaments around the nation for a chance to attend World Series and National Championship events in the most attractive locations in the country.
That's it. 3 in a row to first base, and that will end it.
Top half of the third frame here in Metro Atlanta. It's the 2014 Travel Ball National Championship powered by Nations Baseball and TravelBallSelect.com. This is the most competitive youth baseball in America. Hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on TravelBallSelect.com. I'm Chris Mooneyham with a play-by-play story. At least for a few more innings, it seems. And then 4 ball games tomorrow. Tomorrow we will decide the Travel Ball National Champion. 4 games starting here on field 4 in the 11U classification. Just on the 11U classification, 4 games tomorrow starting at 8. But we'll also have, for those of you who may be interested, the 9U tomorrow. Is that right, Amy? Also beginning at 8, right? Start at 10. Thank you, Amy. Amy Walker, our director in charge today. Director, producer, engineer in charge. Only thing she's not doing is running a camera right now. Jacob Jones, first at bat. Oh, this elimination affair. Jet Lovett to follow, and then Daniel Courtney, last man in the order. Ground ball down to second. 4-3. Jones retired. If you're doing the math in your head and you're wondering, you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute now. We're not back to the top of the order. How many guys have we seen bat here? It's a travel ball rule. A lot of people have have varying opinions on. I happen to love it in that you can allow extra hitters, more young men to get to the plate and get more work. And after all, that's what travel ball is all about, is the development of these young men. As Newman starts Lovett with a strike, off-speed delivery. You can bat 9 or 10. That's pretty common. That's just about every baseball. Well, except for the pros, of course, college, but youth sports. But you can also bat your entire lineup if you like. The max roster size here at the tournament. Nothing in between. Only 9, 11 are the max roster. 2-1 count. Many of these young men from Homeplate, the Homeplate team donning the all-white in this ball game. The Georgia boys. A strike. Count even at 2. A lot of these young guys, 9 of them in fact, been playing together since they were 8 years old. 8 years old. Back into the screen. Stays at 2-2. You see that. You see that a lot at this travel ball level. But, boy, 9 of these young men. That's a pretty hefty number. Lovett's coach calls him the most improved pitcher on the team this year. He's having himself a pretty good, productive at-bat here as he's battled a 3-2. Still just 2 hits for the Georgia team off of Newman. And he draws a walk. A couple of hits and a couple of walks, the offensive production for home plate. Got a leadoff single. Got a courtesy runner coming in, by the way. As Lovett heads out, Jacob Jones comes in to pinch run for him. Now Daniel Courtney. Courtney, one of those extra hitters I was speaking of a moment ago. Coach calls him a fantastic outfielder with a great arm. That's quite a compliment. And a clutch hitter. Tell you what, for me, that's an even better compliment. There's an old saying, it's better to be good or lucky. Baseball, it's good or clutch. Runner at first with a modest lead. Courtney, the 11th place man, waits and takes a breaking ball down to third. Force at second for one. On to first for the double play. And the inning is over. Beautiful, and I mean beautiful double play turn there. 5-6-3 to end the inning. So a runner reaches, but home plate can't do anything with him. And Team Georgia trails Team California 8-0 through 2.5 on TravelBallSelect.com.
Great hitters aren't born. They're made. Swing Away makes them.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. If you want to be a better hitter, all you have to do is swing away.
Now, all baseball players and softball players can train like the pros. Hit anywhere, anytime, inside or out. Players of all ages and skill levels can get serious and immediate results with the Swing Away.
Swing Away will make you a better hitter, period.
You're just a swing away from becoming a great hitter at swingaway.com.
The Knights of Lamorinda come to the plate in the bottom half of the third inning, sitting on an 8-0 lead. California leads Georgia in this loser's bracket affair. The 2014 Travel Ball National Championship. And a curveball to start. Right on the outside corner. Chet Lovett on the mound for his second inning of work. And a fly ball into left center field. This could be trouble. Could fall, and does. In the triangle in left center field. Leadoff runner reaches. Pete Halpin. In the bottom half of the third. Boy, Pete has had himself quite a day today. Quite a day indeed. We have seen him reach in our games here on field 4. Only reached the one time in the first game, but he did have an RBI sacrifice fly. Chopper down to short. Oh, great play, and coming up with it. No, they'll bring it back. Say he lined it right to the shortstop. Diaz retired, and here's Ortiz. AJ's reached twice today, a walk in the first, and an RBI double. Last inning. Oh, great play at second to get the force at short. Oh, what a great play at second base that was by legend Doggett. Doggett gets up a little bit shaken. Now he's trying to compose himself out there at the second base bag, but a good play to shovel over to Yeager, who is now at shortstop. Defensive changes, of course. Hard for us to keep up with when they don't always get the defensive changes. Yeager's now out at short. Started the game behind the plate. Now you got Donovan Ballard behind the plate in his place. Donovan, who had himself quite a ball game at the plate against Stars and Stripes. RBI double, one of the big hits of that ball game. It will take a monumental rally for Georgia to come back and win this one. In the dirt. Breaking for second and reaching easily is Ortiz. The young David Howard at the plate. Hi, David, we talked about this during the first game that we saw them here on TravelBallSelect.com. Boy, this kid really does remind you of Ryan Howard. I have no idea if he's any kin, of course, but stands like him, looks like him. You imagine this is what Ryan Howard looked like when he was 11 years old. Seriously, right up the middle in a base hit. Ortiz is rounding third and coming to the plate. The ball gets past the center fielder. Ortiz will score easily. Howard's headed for third, and he's going to be in after the cutoff man has missed with an RBI triple. I've seen far more triples through 4 games this year than I've seen here ever. Don't look now, but it's 9-0, by the way. And if you remember a conversation we were having a moment ago about, what was that, last inning, maybe an inning and a half ago? Run rule. Well, check that. I know when it was. It was in the bottom half of the second. They were putting together the 6-run inning. We were talking about run rules. Remember, it's 10 after 4. Well, you don't want to get run ruled out of the tournament. Keegren. Pat, ground ball, left field, base hit. Coming to the plate is Howard. He has scored run number 10 for California. Ground ball short, backhanded play. Throw across the diamond, too late. They'll snap back down to second, try to catch Keegren napping, but they'll not be able to. So runners at first and second with 2 men out in the inning. Boy, oh boy. Carl Vesey Light has been pulled back. I'm going to send Gage Johnson in to hit for him. Gage really got a chance to put this thing away. Ground ball up the middle. Great stop by Doggett. Flip to second for the force. And the inning comes to a close, but not before a couple more come around on an RBI triple by Howard, an RBI single by Keegren, and it's now 10-0. To the fourth inning we go on TravelBallSelect.com.
Here's a game I invite you to play during the next half inning. Rate each player from 0 to 10 how confident he looks. How confident you think each guy is. Rate him 0 to 10, and then notice what you're basing your assessment on. If you want extra credit, do the same for yourself. How are you sitting right now? How are you moving? How are you breathing? How confident 0 to 10 are you right now in whatever it is that you might be working on in your life? I'm Dr. Tom Hansen, founder of the Play Big Academy, and for the last 30 years, I've been studying confidence in baseball and business, all aspects of life, and what makes people take action boldly and confidently, and what has people wilt away under the pressure. If you want to take the first step, where I give away my #1 secret, the Hall of Famer's secret, this is what I learned studying Hank Aaron, Rod Crew, Stan Musial, Carly Yastrzemski, interviewing them. This is the #1 secret. Go to TravelBallSecrets.com and do the exercise that's there and feel yourself take that boost to the next level. It's your first step. Go to TravelBallSecrets.com.
All right, top half of the fourth inning here in Metro Atlanta. Thanks for joining us for the 2014 Travel Ball National Championship. Team Georgia on the verge of elimination. Team California 3 outs away from advancing in this final of 4 games that we're broadcasting here on TravelBallSelect.com. If you've been with us all afternoon, thanks for joining us. It has been a blast. Ground ball to start things by Nate Smith, and he's retired by the third baseman. That'll get us to legend Doggett. Carson Newman has been lifted out of the ball game, by the way, and we got a new pitcher on the mound for the boys in blue. Right-hander kicks and fires. Breaking ball that stays high. Ball 1. They didn't make the announcement as to who the young man was. You'll have to forgive me. I cannot get his number from where we're placed right now. Popped him up. Called it short. Called off and makes the catch. Gage Johnson retires the first 2 men. It's Johnson on the mound now. So a ground out to third, a pop up to the shortstop, and here's Houston Lawson. pitched and into the box with a ground out that ended the first. And a pop foul right side and out of play. Again, if barring one of the great comebacks any of us have ever seen, Lamorinda of California going to advance to take on the Corey Lytle Club out of California. Tomorrow morning, our first broadcast here on TravelBallSelect.com. The winner of that one will play tomorrow at 10 a.m. against either the Marlins, the Indiana Bulls Black, or the team out of Texas, Team Sidious. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. we'll have the Winners Bracket Championship game between Florida and Texas. And then at 12 p.m., the Losers Bracket Championship game. And after that, the one for it all, the 2014 Travel Ball National Championship game. Please join us tomorrow, won't you? 2-1. Six teams will remain here in just a little while in the national championship. Ground ball up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Lawson with the third hit for the team out of Georgia, the Homeplate Chilidogs. Homeplate Chilidogs, based out of Peachtree City, Georgia, on the south side of town. And now Burke Berry. Burke popped up to the pitcher his first time up. Gage gets a sign that he likes. And the right-hander kicks and fires. A ball in the dirt, 1-0. One more time, it'll be an all-California semifinal, or at least one of the semifinals, I should say. Lamorinda advances, takes on Corey Lytle, both teams out of California. Survive and advance. And that's what the Knights of Northern California are trying to do, trying to make the San Francisco Bay Area proud. Florida and Texas and California and Georgia and Indiana, gracious, the states that are represented here right now. Shot into right. Coming on the right fielder, he's got it. And that will do it. 10-0 your final on the run rule in 4. California eliminates the Homeplate Chilidogs from Peachtree City, Georgia. Team Georgia falls 10-0 to Team California in this final game of Saturday's elimination bracket play. So Lamorinda, the Knights of California, advance to take on Corey Lytle, also of Northern California. As I mentioned, they'll be in one of the two semifinal loser bracket games, which you can catch right here on TravelBallSelect.com tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. The first of 4 games we'll have on TravelBallSelect.com. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It should be an action-packed afternoon where we will crown our 2014 Travel Ball National Champion. I'm Chris Mooneyham. Again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow on TravelBallSelect.com.